Hi, my name is Kimberly Purdy, and I'm here working on a new project in which the center of it is a Lonestar quilt. And one of the things I wanted to show people is how easy it is to make sure you get perfect points. So I've just sewn these two pieces here to these two pieces here. Alright, and if you look, this one is lining up pretty nicely. This one here is lining up very nicely. But this seam right here is a little bit off. And what we want to do is take a look and show you how to do that. Now in this case here, what you can see is these diamonds have kind of slid past each other, which means that I took a little bit too deep of a seam right there. So what I want to do, and what I've done, is you can see here there's two lines of stitching. This very first one in here is my original line of stitching. And what I've done is I've gone just slightly inside my previous stitching in order to take and line that up. So it's really almost just like a thread's thickness. It really can make a difference between your points lining up and them not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove that very first line of stitching right there where I took a little bit too deep of a seam, and then I will show you what it looks like to take and once I pull that out. So okay. So what I've done is removed just that little bit of stitching, and now look what happened. See? I get just that going in that thread's thickness or whatever makes a difference between those points lining up exactly the way they're supposed to and being slightly over. So you can see kind of here as I kind of pull this forward, see how if you just take a slightly different seam, how those are going to end up being just slightly off. So what happens when going back to actually lining up the seams, when you first decide to start sewing these together, the first thing I do is match up my ends. So I have got an engineered corner here. See how this one's already cut off like that little dog ear or whatever is cut off. So I know that's what needs to line up with my diamond. So I line my ends up like that. I line the other end up exactly the same way. And then what I do is I look to these centers here. And by pressing these, by having these seams pressed open like this, what I can do is see here on the back side, see how these kind of line up? This edge right here of this seam kind of lines up with the seam on this side, and that's kind of a little cheater way that I found to help those line up. The other way, a friend of mine, Kelly,